Welcome to the ASEAN-India Seminar on Master Plan on ASEAN Connectivity and Public-Private Partnerships.
I wish to thank the co-organizers of this seminar. Of course, the Institute of Southeast Asian Studies, where I belong, but also the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Singapore and the Indian government, the Embassy of India in Singapore, through it.
I would like to reaffirm that the Government of India attaches very great importance to this consultation. We believe that implementation of the Master Plan on ASEAN Connectivity is a matter of urgent importance. We recognize that the full implementation of the plan would require enormous resources and multidisciplinary expertise.
Asia is on the rise, and I think many entrepreneurs, not only our Indian friends, our European friends, our US friends are all looking, Chinese friends are all looking at the region to see how we can take advantage of the connectivity master plan and how you can take collaborative efforts to make it work.
And then we have recently at the recent ASEAN Summit, just happened about a week ago, the launching of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. And the guiding principles and the objective of this RCEP is currently available on the website. And we are currently engaging all our FTA partners in negotiating an agreement in the future.
My opening remarks that India fully supports the objectives of an ASEAN community by 2015 and the initiative for ASEAN integration. So our support for the Master Plan for Connectivity is an automatic corollary of that. For India, I must also add, connectivity with ASEAN has a domestic economic and development dimension as well. Enhancement of connectivity and market interaction between India's northeastern states.
And then the second question, maybe the additional secretary can tell us more. Is there any infrastructure master plan in SAC, the South Asia Regional Cooperation Association?
Regions. But of course, I think those are numbers that will change if you change the assumptions. But those does give you some clarity on what are those economic benefits that will accrue to those regions within the country.
Extensively, both in the government of Tamil Nadu and the government of India. May I request Dr. Umezaki to share his presentation with us?
Research project on ASEAN-India connectivity. So today, I would like to highlight some of the findings from our previous research projects. Although this seminar is dedicated for the Master Plan on ASEAN connectivity, I will not try to cover everything because it's too huge. So I just picked up several key issues related to ASEAN-India connectivity.
Perhaps offers the best platform because it's one area where India and ASEAN have already had PPP experience, PPP laws. They know where to take it through from here. To do it in people-to-people connectivity or tourism, this is an area, for example, there's a lot of potential, but PPP has not really been developed as a concept here. So let's look at where we could take it. I've tried to highlight 3 areas where I thought PPPs could work. I mean, this is not to denigrate the rest of the master plan.
Other projects also, like there are 6 physical connectivity projects. So besides this 3 or 4, there are other 3 or 4 projects also where the private sectors can go and invest. It's not like they have to invest in only ASEAN-India connected projects.
In 1998. And currently he is the task manager of the ADBI major study on the role of Asian emerging economies, ASEAN, China, and India for a sustainable, resilient, and balanced Asia 2030.
By India and the other economies. And as been told by Mr. Lim in the morning, out of this 60 billion per year is required by ASEAN. Now we also did a cost-benefit study to find out what is the impact in terms of benefits. Our study says it is 13 trillion income gain for the Asia. And we suggested basically many recommendations. The main one is that if you have to connect Asia seamlessly, we need lots of coordination, strategy, common visions, and leadership.
It is protocol-driven, procedural, formal, driven by the rule book. But we need the private sector to actually come in, infuse their raw energy, aggression, hunger to make money, along with, of course, expertise, to actually take this project through. Needless to say, the private sector cannot do much without the able support of the government. And that's precisely why we are stressing on the importance of combining the relative strengths of the public and the private sector and work on a public-private partnership model.
So these are some of the, I think some of the things that perhaps government should start looking at how to bring in the private sector on board in terms of looking at many of those infrastructure projects.
Who will pay the cost, as you rightly said, is very important. And that really, a good example of PPP, of regional projects.
Conclude by thanking several of the partners. This is on behalf of CII, the ASEAN Studies Center, Institute of Southeast Asian Studies, High Commission of India in Singapore, especially Mr. T.C. Raghavan, Indian High Commissioner, and Mr. P.S. Raghavan, Additional Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Singapore, all the speakers, panelists, and especially all the participants here today. Thank you all very much and good evening.
ASEAN-India Car Rally ceremonial flag off.
The geographical proximity of our two regions, as well as our strong cultural and historical bonds, and stress the potential of trade and investment.
The set-off from Singapore marks a significant stage, since this is the beginning point for the rally on its journey across the land borders that ASEAN and India share.
It really is symbolic because India and ASEAN have had a long historical relationship. But history alone will not see us to the next phase.
Here we go!